We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
You have fun. Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you.
Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at belisiofoods.com/careers.
No, I didn't. Good morning, everyone. I'm sulking because I didn't get to sign James's birthday card.
You're on it. I didn't get to sign it either.
Oh my God, I am on it.
It was James's birthday last
It
week,
was
guys.
James's birthday Friday. He wasn't here. And then I didn't even get to sign his birthday card. So I was really upset about that. I'll sign it later, James. Good morning, everyone. That is pretty funny. Hi, hope you had a great morning, and we are so happy that you're here. This is just utter madness this morning. I don't even know what's going on. Pete and Jeremiah are here. We have some friends from, is it Search?
Yes.
Yes, we have some friends from Search here. We're just going to talk about a whole lot of stuff.
Okay, well,
How's that?
You know what happened on Saturday, right? Christmas was breaking out all over the place.
It was.
That's the way it works in our local communities in Jackson and Vinton counties. The pre-Christmas celebrations, and they are fine ones, are all on that first Saturday. Normally, sometimes there's variations, but we had Christmas activities going on in Jackson, Wellston, Oak Hill, and MacArthur. And then the preceding Thursday, we had Lena's Christmas tree lighting in Colton.
That's right.
And that is why I am here. That is why Jeremiah is here. We're going to kind of run down some of the things that happened over the weekend. We've got some pictures. We've got, I think, at least one video that we can show.
I got two, Pete.
We got two. Okay.
Jeremiah
All right.
got crazy over the weekend.
It's like finding something in the Cracker Jacks package.
It is.
So we've got a lot to go over. On the Christmas side, and I know we've got some guests coming in also to give us some important information. So, I'm going to let Jeremiah kick it off because Jeremiah was at the tree lighting in Colton, Lena's tree lighting. And chronologically, that was first. That was on last Thursday evening. And then Jeremiah covered the activities in Jackson on Saturday evening. So we'll let him talk about those two things, and then I'll take the baton from him after that.
That sounds good.
All right, very good, Pete. So last Thursday would have been December 1st, so the first day of December, and they kicked it off right there in the village of Colton by lighting a Christmas tree. I have some photos that Dylan can put on the screen, and I'll go through and talk about it.
Aww.
So these folks here that are hanging ornaments on Lena Humphrey's Christmas tree, these are family members. On the left there, you have a great niece. That is Vicky Coy.
Okay.
And on the right, you have a niece, and that is, let me find her name here, Shirley Gillen. And both of them are brought ornaments to hang on the tree. If you can go to the next picture, Dylan. So here is Shirley Gillen. Like I said, that was Lena's niece, and they're showing off an ornament to Shirley is Lena's granddaughter.
Nice.
This is Lisa Leach. So that is her granddaughter.
Look
here,
how pretty it
so here's the
is.
tree. Following the lighting, you can see some of the family members out there. There were some folks from the village that were there as well, but everybody by this point had gone up the ramp and into the village building to see Santa Claus. But as you can see from that tree, so this was the 8th year, Jen, that they've lit this tree, and I was there when they first done it 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And you could reach the top of it.
I was going to say, a little
And you
smaller
could
back
probably
then,
put your
probably.
arms around it as well. And
Oh.
now it's like doubled in size. So I do have a little video here that Dylan can play of them doing the tree lighting. So for folks that weren't there, you guys can see this. There's Colton Mayor Kim Milliken says a few words before we get to the lighting. So we'll go ahead and watch that if Dylan will play it.
This is a super special event for me anyway, and I think for the village.
Kind of hard
I
to see.
think you all know that Lena was a very important person in the village. She kept most of the kids in line. And if she couldn't just verbally keep them in line, she took care of that too. She had a little shop, it was Lena's. The kids would go after school, they'd dance. Basically, it was a wonderful haven for kids to enjoy, but also for her to enjoy too. I think she must have loved every second of it. But anyway, this is super important. About Jeremiah, was it 8 years ago?
Yeah.
This is our 8th annual Lena's tree lighting. I told him I thought it was 4 years. Time flies when you're having fun, is all I can say. But it's our 8th annual Lena's tree lighting, and her daughter, and I've got to ask, her daughter's name is Jeannie Nicholson, that bought the trees, this tree and the tree out front for us, so that we have a Christmas tree and a community tree, and so that people can put memorabilia on there, basically in memory of Lena as well as the village of Colton. So this is the tree that was about this tall 8 years ago, because I could reach the top. Wow. And so it's grown.
It has grown, hasn't it?
It's grown,
Had
Robbie.
8 years, yes.
Dave Apsley with Apsley Farms, he comes in and trims it up once in a while, and I like to give him credit for that. It keeps the tree healthy and looking good, so we appreciate it. So with that being said, I want to introduce the people that work for the village and the people from the Imagination Library and COAD. And I'm going to start here. Give me your name.
Brady.
Brady Reynolds, and you're with COAD. Yes. And this is Michelle with the Imagination, the Dolly Parton Imagination Library and Easter Sales.
And Project Bear.
And which L?
Project Bear.
Yes, Project Bear. And this is her better half, or
Yes.
her other half,
Right.
and her son. So we thank you all for coming. And with that being said, Robbie, give him the code. So go ahead and light her up. You got it. So this is Merle, and this is Robbie, and they are the two guys that make this happen. The decorating, the whole 9 yards, and they take very good care of this tree, I have to say. It's kind of like a pet to us, so thank you all. Everyone come on in, let's talk to Santa and see if we're going to get anything this year.
Well,
How
there you have
pretty.
it, guys. So
Love
that was
it.
Lena Humphreys tree lighting there in the village of Colton. And like I said, this was the 8th year. For those that may not know, Lena Humphreys passed away in May of 97. And folks said that she was a much loved person in the village of Colton. And many people recalled her having like a teen hangout there in town that featured like pool tables, a jukebox, pinball machines. I guess she had like dances and food and just different stuff to keep the kids out
Keep
of
the
trouble.
kids out. Yeah, I mean, I think
there
that
in
was
the
her whole
village.
goal. Yeah.
So back in 2015, the one of the family, I think it was a daughter, donated that live Christmas tree to the village, and they planted it there on the village green, and it's really taken off.
That's so good. And so just for years to come, to watch it grow every year. Problem, you can't plan decorations for a tree that grows every year. You have to keep adding to.
I know. Yeah, it's really shot up. I mean, it's as tall as the village building there.
Yeah,
So,
very good.
and then on Saturday evening, I was out for the 3rd annual Jackson Holiday Light Up celebration there in the city of Jackson. You have the parade, you have the lighting of the trees there in Manpower Park, and it all caps off with fireworks. But we have some pictures we'll talk about, and then I have a nice little video montage where I interview some folks and put together some footage for you
Cool.
guys. So I forgot about this. So this happened before all the main events. They had a
cute.
kids party there in the park.
Yes.
They had a petting zoo there that featured, there was some like these little goats, and they had there was like a cow and a llama, and just
Aw.
different stuff. And Miss Claus was there for this
Wow.
kids party in the park, and they had activities there at the shelter house going on. There
I
was
think the Leos did that, didn't
yeah,
they?
the Leos, and I think there was another group as well that was there doing Christmas activities with the kids, and there was just a slew of things going on there at the shelter house. It was a bit of a madhouse, if I have to say.
Good.
So
in a good way.
right. And I captured this picture before the tree lighting. This is Barbie McCatherine, and she is with Cultivating Our Future. She's the one that kind of organizes and puts on the Christmas in the Park there in Jackson's Manpower Park. This year, there's 92 trees down there. They'll be
There's a
lit.
lot.
Yeah, they'll be lit through the holiday season. There's some other Christmas displays as well, but she is the lady behind all that down there.
Cool.
And I managed to grab that shot. She was checking boxes and making sure the extension cords were plugged in and everything. If you do go down to Manpower Park to look at these trees, stay on the walkways, because people like to cut across the park. And when you cut across the park in the dark, there's probably at least 92 extension cords,
Right,
not
right.
counting all the extra ones for
Yeah.
the other decorations.
That
You
makes
may trip
sense.
over them, unplug them,
Yeah.
and then stuff doesn't light up like it's supposed to.
I mean, we spent a whole lot of money and effort putting those beautiful walkways around the park.
Right.
Like, use them.
Yes, use them, please. There was a lot of people cutting across the other night, and I'm surprised nothing got unplugged.
Yeah.
Here you have, this is Bob Grimes, and Pete was telling me I think he retired from the Jackson Police Department, but is back now as a
I
dispatcher.
believe he's a full-time dispatcher.
As a
there,
full-time
so
dispatcher.
Great to have that experience there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bobby's
on the
Bobby's
communications.
awesome. yeah.
Bobby's
Good guy,
great,
very
but
good guy.
he was I captured that picture of him. He put out 2 burn barrels for people to stay warm.
Oh, cool.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And then this photo here, this is the Wellston Lions Club float with Santa. I think Miss Claus is there and the Grinch. And last couple
Nice.
years, they've made the trip up from Wellston to kind of wrap up Jackson's Christmas parade. And
Yeah.
that Christmas parade is organized by the Jackson County Gear Grinders. It was a nice parade that had several different units in it, and it made its way through. We had a live video, but it's available for playback if you want to watch the full Jackson Christmas parade. That is available on the Telegram's Facebook page, as well as mine, Jeremiah Shaver, the Telegram News.
Cool.
And I think we have one more photo before we get to the video. And here's a nice green and red Christmassy
love
firework over the city of Jackson here. And you can see the trees all lit below and the people standing around watching. It was just a fun shot that I managed to
Very
capture
cool.
there. So,
That's very good.
and to wrap it up, we got a video that I put together. I did one similar to this back for the 4th of July when I was up in Wellston
Yeah.
for Celebration of Our Nation. Interviewed a few people and got some footage of the activities and events down there.
Okay.
So hope you guys enjoy this video.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Hey everybody, Jeremiah Shaver here, multimedia journalist with The Telegram. I put together a little video montage of my coverage here in the city of Jackson on Saturday, December 3rd. Talked to a few people, got some footage of the activities and events happening here, including the parade and the fireworks. Hope you guys enjoy. Everyone bundled up in hats and coats and headed down to Jackson's Manpower Park for a bunch of holiday activities and events.
My favorite time of the holiday season is clearly family time.
My favorite part of the season is definitely family time. Also.
So what is my favorite part of the holiday season? I would say this right here. We start in the beginning of summer and we go through until we end in January. Cultivating Our Future, we need members.
My favorite part of the holiday season is just spending time with my family and, of course, all the good food and the festivities. And then being out covering events like this sure gets you in the spirit.
My favorite part of the Christmas season is Christmas in the park. We get to do everything for all the kids, and the community comes together, and everyone has a great time.
And behind them, we have Santa Claus, and it looks like the Grinch has made his way onto the float. So there goes Santa Claus. Looks like I got Miss Claus and even the Grinch on the float here, making their way down to Manpower Park. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you have it, folks. The 2022 edition of Christmas in the Park here in Jackson's Manpower Park here in Southern Ohio has been lit for the very first time this season.
That was
Well, there you
really
go.
good.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jeremiah.
Thank you. Threw that together Saturday evening, afternoon, and we had a couple video clips there from my lives that I put together there at the end. But it turned out very
fun.
nice.
Now,
and
if you weren't there, don't you wish you would have gone?
I know,
Yeah.
Look
right?
at what you missed.
yeah, that was a good recap, and that was the first time it's been aired. So when I leave here, I'll put it up on social media for people to watch as well. So
Very good. Get you in the Christmas festive spirit, doesn't it?
does. And the event down there was well attended. There was a lot of people in attendance, even though it was a little cold. I will say my feet were warm this year, Jen. Last year I about lost my toes, but this year I was prepared. My mother-in-law last year got me a pair of thermal socks this year. So I
Did
wore
they
those.
work?
Well, I wore them with my boots, and my feet were nice and toasty this year. But I know
Nice.
last year, by the time I finished up, because I've been out all day, I couldn't feel my toes.
That's the worst.
Yeah. It
Oh,
was
man.
bad. So anyhow, that's a recap of what I covered, and we'll turn it over to Pete here and let him cover Oakville and Wellston, right?
And
MacArthur.
And
yes.
MacArher.
We'll talk
All
about
of
We're
that.
going to run the
Thompson's
geographic
coverage.
circuit there.
So,
Love that.
All right. So
I'll,
thank you, Jeremiah,
yep,
for that
I'll
great
slip
coverage in
away
Colton
here
and in Jackson.
Yep.
I got to let Jeremiah go so he can get the newspaper part of this work done.
Yeah, Jeremiah, go work.
Gotta go work.
All right.
Thank you.
Don't be playing around
get a cup
here.
Of coffee on your way. It's okay. And we have 3-day-old donuts out there. So go ahead.
James's birthday donuts are still out there. It's fine.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, let's go up the road to Wellston next.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds
Our
great.
associate editor, Phil Buffington, was there to cover things, and he's going to be working on pictures for hopefully our Wednesday edition. And we do have a few photos to show you from Wellston, but it was kind of a two-parter. The Wellston Main Street organization did a bunch of activities, mainly in the downtown business district. It seemed like, I think I heard one of the leaders of that group say that it was the biggest one yet. They've done it for 6 or 7 years now.
I can imagine.
Something like that. But many of the businesses in downtown were involved, organizations as well. The city, of course, supported everything. And, I think they had a business decoration contest, a 5K run, a gingerbread house contest. That's just a sampling of the different things that Main Street did to
They did tons of
to
stuff.
provide a fun event for the community
Yes.
and also to generate some interest in the downtown, because you're down there to see what's going on, and then you see the stores that are down there.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been a lot of progress here in the last 10 years with what Main Street has been able to do. In the afternoon, the big attraction was, and this goes way back more than 6 or 7 years, the Wellston Lions Club had their annual Christmas parade.
Yes.
Started at 1 o'clock, kicked off there from the old Wellston lot, Wellston High School lot there at Pennsylvania and 6th Street, and then went into the downtown area and then ended up at the City Building. And that is the famous Wellston Lions Club float with Santa there. And we have on good authority that this is the same Santa who has been doing it for 30 to 40 years. So he knows what he's doing.
We got to spend some time with him last year and had a great time.
Right, and you see Rudolph right there leading the sleigh there.
Yep.
And I know they had the Wellston Lions Club's elves were there, and it looks like the Grinch made it on that float too, if I can see on the right.
He seems like he's not as Grinchy this year as normal. Like, I mean, he was really celebrating it up on Saturday.
Right, the Grinch.
That's very un-Grinch-like.
The Grinch kind of made the tour just like Santa did.
He did.
We told you, based on the schedule, it was possible for Santa to be everywhere.
Maybe his heart was feeling warm that day.
Yeah, very special. And as you can see, look behind the blue skies. We had rain in the morning, but by the time, we're talking about our local communities, by the time the afternoon rolled around, clear,
it was pretty.
Clear skies, and
Very
in the 50s, you couldn't ask for better weather for the outdoor things, the parades, the tree lightings, and of course in Jackson, the fireworks. But in Wellston, once again, the Lions Club parade, the big thing, Santa Claus met with kids at the courthouse, or not the courthouse, the City Building porch. And there you see Santa on the City Building porch, and he is surrounded there by the Jackson County Fair royalty.
Nice.
For 2022. And there was lots of royalty in the parade as well, including, the Jackson County Fair Queen. I'm sure the Ohilco royalty was in that Wellston parade as well.
Yes.
So we'll go from Wellston, and we'll go to Wellston to MacArthur now.
Okay.
MacArthur had a lot of activities late in the afternoon and into the evening, and Red Thompson Jr. was up there. And we're going to have good coverage from him. We got some pictures to show you as well. These are the trees. We're going to go out to the fairgrounds first. This is something new in the Vinton County celebration, aside from the Christmas in downtown, which is the main component of the Vinton County celebration. For the first time, the Vinton County Junior Fair Board had a tree display, very similar to what is going on in Jackson, Wellston, and Oak Hill. They saw that this was a good thing in the other communities, and they decided to float this idea out there. They posted something on Facebook and in the paper. They ended up with 35 trees. They didn't want to go through more than that. They were delighted. They were all sold. And there they are around, one of the streets there that cuts through the fairgrounds. They lit them for the first time on Saturday in conjunction with all the Christmas season activities. It's free. You can drive in there at night and, make the rounds. I suppose you could walk it or drive it, either one.
Yeah.
The trees are right there along the road. Very similar to what is in our other communities. It's business, organizations, families, etc. It is also a fundraiser for the Vinton County Junior Fair Board for them to make improvements at the fairgrounds.
Love it.
Back in MacArthur, very similar to what Wellston Main Street does, only it's been going on for a long time. A lot of business participation. Businesses threw open their doors on Saturday, whether they're normally open there or not.
Gotcha.
They had, a lot of the places had door prizes, special promotions, special activities, coloring books. I think coloring books were at the Vinton County National Bank. You could do letters to Santa at other places. Lots of special activities. So when you went in, there was something to do besides, just to shop or whatever. You could sign up for prizes and all like that, spin the wheel for prizes, all sorts of things going on there. In the parade that they had in the afternoon, Santa Claus, of course, was the big attraction, but another attraction, the Grand Marshal, was the Vinton County CVB and its executive director, Caleb Appleman.
Okay.
And of course, both have been in the news quite a bit. That is the organization that is promoting tourism in Vinton County. We've heard that is a kind of like a goal in the community with the government and also the private sector to make things better in Vinton County by driving tourism. And we're going to have, it was big news that came out over the weekend. Actually, it came out on Saturday. We'll talk more about that later in the week here when we cover the regular news. But a big grant was won by the CVB
Yes.
to help develop their project to renovate the Hotel MacArthur, an 1839 building in downtown, right in the center of town, and also to develop a new park district that is also part of what the CVB is doing to promote tourism.
Very
But there was Royalty in Benton County as well. They have Christmas in downtown Royalty, and we want to tip our hat to the ad hoc committee that does Christmas in downtown. Melissa Nickel-Hammond with the hardware store, Cody Kempton, Michelle Royster. Those are just three. Hate to leave anybody out, but I know those three are very much involved. Used to be a Benton County Chamber of Commerce thing. Well, the chamber is rather inactive now, if not defunct. And they didn't want this Christmas in downtown to end, so a few community-minded people stepped up. And it was, according to Red, had a nice crowd downtown with the weather the way it was. So we'll go to Oak Hill now. Oak Hill had their activities late in the afternoon. In the evening, they call it Christmas in the Village, and it is a effort of 3 different organizations plus more. But the 3 main organizing organizations of the Christmas in the Village activities are the Oak Hill Festival of Flags. I mean, they have their own celebration, and there they are helping to plan this one. There's the Oak Hill Historical Society and the Oak Hill Area Chamber of Commerce. It all started off with a parade that started from the old high school lot, went through downtown, ended at the Central Memorial Park. And at the Central Memorial Park, that is where, of course, they have the tree display.
Cool.
And that is just after it was lit for the first time. Of course, there you see the 40, Brian Moore of the Oak Hill Historical Society told me 47 or 48 trees.
That's awesome.
There. So that is great. I think that's a higher number than usual. You can see the gazebo in the background. They have those trees pretty much along the sidewalk oval there in the park. And so it's very much a nice walk to see all the trees. And, you see all the trees in all these communities, Oak Hill, Jackson, Wellston, and at the fairgrounds in MacArthur. Just beautifully done trees. These are hand-decorated trees with wonderful creative themes. Oftentimes, it might be a memorial to somebody. It might be to promote a cause. It might be just to decorate a tree, or a business, wanting to show its community spirit and also promote their presence in the community. But very beautiful. They had a big crowd there. They have a tree lighting too. They call it the Christmas in the Park activity. Brian Moore with the Oak Hill Historical Society did the countdown. Just after the parade, the band was there to play a couple Christmas tunes and also the Oak Hill fight song. There is the band all decked out in Christmas gear. Very festive. And after the trees were lit, everybody had the chance, to walk around and see the trees lit. And then in the gazebo, Santa Claus was there. And let me tell you, I was there for part of that, and that line was a long one. So I don't know whether it was the trees, Santa, probably both. They brought out a big crowd in Oak Hill. And then I had to take this picture here. Santa Claus and Grinch were both in the parade, but before the parade, they had a little one-on-one basketball game there.
They did.
I will say this. The Grinch was quicker, but Santa was bigger. So I don't know exactly what happened there, but they were having a little bit of fun, and then they were in the parade, and they were over at the park as well.
Love it.
A couple of other things that happened in Oak Hill, not part of Christmas in the Village, but I'm sure it was scheduled in conjunction with Christmas in the Village, was the Madison Jefferson Christmas auction.
Yes.
That's the Firefighters Association. Chris Walls was among the chief organizers there. Unbelievable amount of new merchandise in there. A lot of toys, and some daddy toys too. Some tools and things like that in there as well. And everything that they sold in there, Ed Henderson was the auctioneer, is going to go to good community causes in Oak Hill. This was not a fundraiser for the Firefighters Association. It was a community service project. All the money will go to buy hams for the food pantry so they can have those for the recipients there for Christmas. And the Firefighters Association do food baskets on their own.
Yes.
Okay,
Very good.
Another big event that evening was a Christmas open house, and this was considered part of the activities. at the home of John and Lindsay Hensler. Of course, John
Yeah.
Hensler, well known as our county commissioner, one of our county commissioners. And, I didn't even know this until Saturday. I knew that they owned this property. I didn't know they lived there, but they do. The old Vesta Wilson house on East Main Street. It had been empty for a number of years. They did a major reclamation renovation project, the Henslers did, moved to Oak Hill. This was a chance to show off the house. And John, of course, nice young man, and his wife as well, very social persons, very kind persons. But they also wanted to do it as a way to support the community. Your price of admission, not that they charged, was a toy. They asked you to donate a toy.
Makes
they
sense.
And by the time that I left, they had a big box of toys.
Good.
And they will see that those toys are distributed to the different organizations in Jackson County, that provide toys for the underprivileged kids and their families.
Yes.
So very, very nice. So on down this week, we'll talk about a couple other things really quick before we get to our guest here, the young lady from Search. We have the Christmas Cheer from Yesteryear event at the Mayhew Brown Funeral Home on Thursday evening. On Wednesday evening, the D. Merrill Davis Carol Sing down at Jackson High School.
Okay.
And then this Sunday at the Jackson County Fairgrounds, the Jackson Vinton Farm Bureau will do their Breakfast with Santa event, which has become huge.
Dude, that is a big
And,
one.
we'll remind you about all those things later in the week. The only other thing I want to tell you, outside of all the Christmas stuff and all this Christmas stuff, we're going to have so many pictures in our next paper, our
Love
Wednesday
that.
paper, and maybe beyond into Saturday if we have some spillover. We're also going to try to post a bunch of pictures on our website, thetelegramnews.com.
Sure.
Some photo galleries, many pictures. They're not going to fit in the print edition, but in cyberspace we have more space, and we're going to use it. All right, but some other activities. The Vinton County Sheriff's Office had hoped to be in their new location on State Route 93, the
Yes.
former DD building. Called this morning, haven't quite made it yet.
Okay.
So it's a transitional thing. They don't have a date for sure when they will be physically all in that new location.
Okay.
So if you have business at the Sheriff's Office where you need to go to the Sheriff's Office, it's still the old location, 106 South Market Street, across or right by the courthouse there in downtown MacArthur. All right, a section of County Road 28, Sour Run Road in Jackson County will be closed starting today during the working hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sour Run Road, very, very important as a commuter, not only as a residential road, but people cut across there. The closings will last for approximately 2 weeks, depending on the weather. It's between Valentine Road and Meacham Road. It's not that you can't go on Sour Run Road, but that section of it could be closed during the daytime hours, 8 a.m. to 4. Also, tomorrow and Wednesday, the Wellston City Building will be closed to the public because of staff training.
Okay.
It will affect about everybody in the city building. They're going to be working, but they're going to be doing training. You can still do business. You can drop utility bills in the drop box outside, payments. You can go online. You can do email communications, but they'll be back in business on Thursday.
Okay.
All
Very
right.
good.
Well, I'm going to vamoose and work on my newspaper stuff.
Well, Pete, one question before you go.
Mhm.
What do you think about this Buckeye situation?
Okay.
I've heard so much back and forth about it.
Well, I am overjoyed because do we have a bad taste in our mouth right now?
A little bit, yeah.
So we've got a chance to get it out.
To redeem,
And-
yeah.
Right. Now, I will say this. A lot of folks are saying, oh, my God, look how bad they play. They don't deserve to be in the playoffs. They deserve to be in the playoffs more than any of those other teams. Those other teams have 2 losses. Ohio State has 1 loss. And except for 2 very bad quarters against Michigan, they have been one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah,
Without
they
a
sure
doubt.
have.
Now, I'm not guaranteeing anything against the University of Georgia because they are very...
They are scary.
They're
so scary.
They are very good, but Ohio State has a chance for redemption. We're not going to have to wait until next September to feel good again. So this is a chance for them. And quite frankly, if you don't get in a football playoff bowl and you have all those good players like C.J. Stroud, some of them will decide not to play because they don't want to ruin their draft position.
That's
for the
exactly
pros.
right.
So anyway, so what are you hearing?
Oh, I just, it's funny, you just hear people's different takes on things. But so what we're talking about, Ohio State actually by losing to Michigan kind of got a bye into the the Final Four national playoffs, and just the fact that they kind of got a bye, that they didn't have to play in the conference championship game and win that to be able to earn their spot.
Well, the phrase is backed in. They needed some help, and they got it when Utah defeated Southern Cal. They didn't just beat them.
Dude, they
thrashed them.
wrecked them.
They thrashed them, and Utah is not as good as Michigan, by the way. So
really crazy stuff.
No, it was. And then TCU, there's an argument that Ohio State should be ahead of TCU, and TCU remained in the third spot.
Sure.
But they did lose in their conference game to a team that was ranked 21st in the nation.
They did.
So TCU will play Michigan. If you hadn't heard the pairings, that'll be at 4 p.m. on New Year's Eve. On 8 p.m. New Year's Eve, it'll be in a neutral site in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. So a home game for Georgia.
Yeah, the Buckeyes will play the Georgia Bulldogs, and we have a chance to get the egg off our face.
Yeah.
And you know what? 2 eggs on your face isn't much better. Is it much worse than one, right?
True that.
So we have nothing to lose.
That's right. Go out and play and have a good game.
Right.
All right. Want to get your take on that, Pete. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So we have a special guest. Come on over and we'll get you all situated here. Let's roll you over that way. We'll give you your mic over there.
Ready?
All right. So welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so would you tell everyone a little bit of who you are and the organization?
Okay. Well, I'm Marcia Radeball, and I'm with the Search Project at Southeastern Appalachian Regional Community Health.
It's a lot. And the girls, some other girls from Search were here the other day. Well, you were here. You just weren't on the air. Miss Marcia was being a little bit camera shy, but that's hiding. Okay. But I was throwing a few questions at the girls because they were here talking about other things, about, COVID vaccines and, where we're at with all of this madness and whatever. And so you all so graciously agreed to come back and answer some of those questions that I had that, those girls weren't maybe as knowledgeable about that topic. So we appreciate you coming back.
Thank you.
All you hear, we did a little, pictures with Santa event at the brewery the other day. I was talking with a lot of the parents that brought their kids in, and they were just like, man, my kids' class, their grade, there's 150 kids out right now sick. And, it's just getting really scary. And people that are getting sick are getting really sick.
Yes.
And so you're hearing all of this. So, people are having questions about what should you be doing right now?
Right. Well, the normal thing would be to make sure you wash your hands,
all the things that we should be doing.
If you're sick, wear a mask when you go out. Okay. And if like right now, it's sort of rough because, the flu is going around.
We're just getting hit from all angles.
And it's hard to distinguish between flu symptoms and the COVID symptoms.
Yep.
So, make sure you get a COVID test, first of all. And if you do come up with COVID, and you still haven't had your booster yet, you want to make sure it's been at least 90 days or 3 months, before you get that booster.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to make sure you hold off.
Okay.
And it's just really hitting everyone right now. So that's why our organization, it's December sort of designated as vaccine month.
Yeah.
So,
like get them all.
Yeah. And one thing too is, the COVID, like the flu vaccine and the COVID vaccine, they're not mixed. You get them separately, but you can get them at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Same day. Yeah.
Okay.
So, some of the things that like Pete was talking about, they went to Vinton County, for the Christmas thing.
Yes.
I was there with the community health worker.
Yes.
And we were passing out information on vaccines and little candy canes and
Very
things.
good.
And, some of the questions that people were posing, were, do they mix the vaccines? Do you get them separately? There's a lot of questions about the mRNA vaccines, which is Moderna and the Janssen Pfizer rather vaccines, and so I had some little bit of information on those.
Sure. Yeah, because it's also confusing right now, and that's what I don't mean to interrupt you, but like
Yeah.
when I was asking the girls the other day, because it's like, there was this initial push for everybody to get a vaccine, and then there was this big push for everybody to get the booster. And then all of a sudden there's this bivalent thing that you're sort of heard about.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know what to do with that.
Right.
So where are we at with all that? And
Okay.
I'm sure you can answer all of those questions.
I don't know.
Yes, you
I
can.
am nervous up here.
No, don't you dare be nervous. You're great.
Yeah, the bivalent contains the variants of the BA4 and BA5 COVID. So once you get your primary series, okay, that's like your first 2 shots. And then like for me, back then I had my first 2 Moderna shots. Then I had a booster of Moderna.
Okay.
Then I went back and got the bivalent booster.
Okay.
So
you've had the whole gamut then.
Yeah, I've had
Okay.
everything.
And you felt comfortable doing that?
Yeah. The first time when I got my primary series, everyone reacts differently to it.
Correct. You've heard horror stories and like nothing happened
Yeah.
to me. So
Yeah.
I'm knock on wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I had it, my arm was really, really sore. I mean, it was awful. But then the next 3, it's like every time I got in, a different shot or my next sequence, it hurt a little less.
Okay.
And then like when my husband and son got them, the first primary series, they ran a fever.
Mhm.
They were sick for like a day. And but then it seemed like as they got theirs, they weren't as bothered by it.
Okay.
But even though that people get sick, that doesn't mean you're getting COVID. It's just that it's your body, fighting that.
Your body's working.
Yeah,
it's doing
it's
what
working.
it's supposed to
Right,
be doing.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So right now I've talked to a lot of people. I think they've gotten their primary series and at 1 booster, and they don't really think they need the bivariant booster.
Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at right now, where
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what am I. And James and I have talked about this, like, being 30 something and 40 something, and do we need this? Like,
Yes.
What are we supposed to do? We don't know.
Yes. Get the bivariant booster, because it's going to cover the new variants that are out there.
That the first
ones
shots
did not
did
cover.
not cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, probably the first ones, those variants weren't there yet. They didn't exist yet.
Okay.
So now they do, and they have that covered. So you
'Cause
really
this
want to
COVID
get that.
thing has morphed into different variants.
Right,
Same as
yeah.
the flu and everything
Yeah.
else. Yeah.
So I'd say probably as time goes on, they'll add new variants, to it if there are. Hopefully there aren't anymore. But yeah, everyone, and especially, if you have any chronic diseases, diabetes, heart problems, a lot of people around here have COPD.
Yes.
So you do want to get all the boosters, all the shots.
And
Yeah.
because you kind of hear, and this is just what, kind of my observation is that, COVID really, really targets folks that already have something compromised.
Right.
And it just seems to just really go after them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's because their system's weakened. And so, so that's why they want to, get.
Could be
make sure you get-
diabetes. It could be
Right.
anything like that.
Yeah.
It just really
Right.
gets
exactly.
at people.
Yeah. So, definitely you need to, stay up on those.
Okay.
And, like I said, even if you get like, before we had the vaccines, I had gotten COVID, and I
Uh-huh.
don't know how because we masked up, we didn't go anywhere. I don't know how we got it.
No, and I used to do that. I used to ask people, "Well, how'd you get it?" And I would get so mad when they'd be like, "I don't know." And then I got it, and then someone said, "How'd you get it?" I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how I got it. Yeah. But then before I had my last booster with the bivariant, I had it again in July.
Okay.
And what was, I guess if it was nice about it, is I really didn't get sick.
Okay.
I just felt like I had allergies, little
Okay.
scratchy throat. I didn't run a fever. and that's what a number of people have said once they've had their vaccines. They just really didn't get sick with it.
Gotcha.
And probably if I hadn't got tested, I would have just thought I had
You'd
it.
never known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, I could have been, contagious
Sure.
to other people. So, that's why I wanted to go ahead and get checked.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah. So
Yeah, it's this whole thing has just been a wild, wild ride. And then so we were all so very careful for a
Yeah.
couple of years, wearing the masks, washing the hands, doing all that. And then all of a sudden it was like the spigot dried up and we all forgot about all that stuff
Right.
again. And
Yeah.
so here we are now with COVID and the flu and RSV and all of the other
Yes.
things that people are getting piled on
Yes.
top of each other.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is a kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. I know one of my community health workers in Pike, I think they had to close their schools down because of the flu, not COVID.
I could
but
see
the
that.
flu. Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. I went, like I said, I went to the Vinton County Christmas Fair. That was fun. We had a little table
Sure.
set up, and
Good.
we have like schedules for all vaccines, for different age groups. And so, if you want one of those, you can stop by the health department and get one of those. That goes from, babies all the way through to older adults. And so we handed those out and had a real nice time.
Good.
Yeah. So.
Here's candy, little kid. Can I give you a shot?
Yeah. We didn't give the
No,
shots.
I'm just kidding. Bribe them with candy. Adults, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so
That's
funny. Well, let's talk for a minute. Do you mind talking about, okay, so when the COVID vaccines first came out, there were clinics and there were all of these things, and you had ample opportunities to, and you knew what to do.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of like we don't know what to do. So
Right.
where do we go to get these boosters? Where do we go to, even if you haven't gotten your initial round of shots
Yeah.
yet, and you've decided now
Right.
that you want to?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
You go to the health department. You can just stop by, and they'll set you up and give you your shot that day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
it's easier than it used to be.
Yeah. You just
Okay.
go in. They'll give it to you, or you can go to your doctor. They're free even at the doctor's office.
Oh, great.
So all
Okay.
COVID shots are free right now. So don't pay for them. If
if
someone
you're
tries to
paying
get you to pay
for
for
it,
them,
there's
don't do
something
it.
wrong.
Yeah. So you can still go there, and
The pharmacies are doing them too. Some of the
yes,
pharmacies. Okay.
yes. I would say, I'm not sure, but I know CVS and Oak Hill was still set up for, they could do it there. So yeah, I do
Okay.
believe all of them probably still
Okay.
give them.
And a lot of them you can schedule online, so you can just go on there and
Yeah.
see what appointments they have
Right.
available.
Yeah. So yeah,
But you can just walk into the health department.
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and they're open from 8 to 4.
Okay.
And yeah, so I did. I walked in and got mine.
Very good.
So-
See?
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So can we talk for a minute about, so you said that you can get the flu shot, and because I've had my flu shot already, because our friends from Holzer came in and they were having
Yeah.
a clinic and they came in to talk about that. So they gave me my flu shot on the air.
Mm-hmm.
But if I hadn't had that, I could go get my booster and the flu shot at the same time.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. Two
Yeah.
birds, one stone.
Right, right. We had a couple of our community health workers they braved and did that, because some people are like, they don't, they're
little
sort
bit
of leery.
afraid,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they didn't have any trouble.
Okay.
They said they'd rather get it all out at once than go back again and anticipate that shot again. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, what did you touched on this for a minute, but what would you say to the people that are like, oh, they're sticking COVID in my arm. I don't want,
Right.
that, or they're giving me the flu with the flu shot. Like,
Yeah.
can you kind of explain how that works a little bit to ease people's minds?
Yeah, the COVID shot. Well, COVID, has been around for years, and so
Yes.
when they were developing these vaccines for our specific COVID, they've been working on it for years and years. I mean, it's not a new thing. So the only difference is that they sped up the time for getting it out there to everybody.
Okay.
They used the same protocols. There was no different. All of the ingredients in it are, like food grade ingredients.
Okay.
There's nothing weird in it. Like I know when I worked
Like microchips?
No microchips. I had some person ask me if there were monkey germs in them. No monkey germs.
Shut up. Really?
I said,
can't
at least
make that
mine
up.
didn't have monkey germs.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. But yeah, there's, like no mercury or lead or anything like that. So, it's very safe. And,
Okay.
it wasn't really developed on the spur of the moment like a lot of people think.
They do think that because, again,
Yeah.
vaccines take forever to come out, and this one did come out quickly.
Right.
But it was just, there was a lot of money thrown at it. There was a
Right.
lot of research that had already been done.
Yes.
They were able to just
Right.
get
And they
it
used
going.
the same exact protocols as if it would have taken years. It's just that they had to do it quicker.
Okay.
And, it was just exactly the same. So it is safe to take.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Very
So,
good. Because, there's still a lot of people out there that say, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's your prerogative. Like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
totally fine. Like, if you
Right.
don't want to, like, I get it.
Right. And then, I don't know where they're getting their ingredient information from.
Okay.
That's sort of the,
Monkey germs?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
sort of the worrisome part of the whole thing. So check with CDC. They're very reliable. Yeah.
Oh, no, I've heard like the craziest stuff. That second shot is when they put the microchip in you. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
No. So,
And if anybody is worried about a microchip, you carry around these,
yeah.
which are basically physically attached to your
Yeah,
body.
right.
It's the same thing.
Right.
So-
exactly. Yeah.
So on and so
actually,
forth.
I have a little thing here. It says like the mRNA, which is Moderna and the Pfizer.
Okay.
They're created in a lab to teach our cells how to make a protein. And it says, or even just a piece of that protein.
Okay.
And then that triggers our immune system in our bodies. And then after a few days, that mRNA, that shot is broken down and we expel it from our bodies. So, that doesn't even stay. It's just training our cells, our immune system.
I see.
So then actually, it's not in there forever. You
So the
expel it
shot
up.
leaves you.
Right.
Once your body
is trained.
understands
Yeah.
what to do.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Which is no different than probably any other shot that you had as a baby or
Right.
whatever.
Exactly. And it does not contain the COVID virus,
Okay.
which some shots do.
Are live viruses,
Yeah, or flu shots.
Yeah.
Right. But this does not. It's just training our cells
Okay.
how to get rid of, keep us safe from COVID.
Very
And not
good.
get us sick or hospitalized,
Okay.
from it. So, yeah.
So can we talk for a minute about, I said that James and I have been talking about this back and forth for a long time about, should we get this bivalent thing? We've both had our, shots and boosters and all of that. Who needs to get this and how many shots are you supposed to have? And can we talk about
Okay,
this for a
yeah.
minute?
Let me get my little papers
Because
here.
I know, and babies are, where are we at with that whole
Yeah.
thing?
Well, from 6 months to 4 years, they can get the Pfizer, but they don't get the bivalent. They
Okay.
can get like 3 doses, mainly of the primary.
Okay.
And that third one would be like their little booster.
Okay.
Okay. But they don't get the bivalent at all.
I see.
And then as you move up, you get your 2 doses and then you can get the bivalent. See, before I think it was 3 and now it's, you get your primary series, which is 2.
Okay.
And then you get the bivalent now.
Because now I had Johnson & Johnson the first, which was a 1-shot series thing.
Right.
And then I had, I think, the Moderna
Right.
for my booster. So then I would just go and get the bivalent
Yeah.
as another booster.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And you could get, Moderna or the Pfizer one. I had all Moderna myself
Okay.
for everything. So, yeah. And then from ages 5 to on up, you can get the bivalent.
Oh, so 5 on up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
So,
I
yeah.
know there was like a whole controversy with the kids at first. They were still doing a lot of testing and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't sure where they were at
So,
with that.
right. So anyway, let's see here. Yeah, that's it. And I would suggest everybody to go out and get get that booster, the bivalent one.
Yeah.
Now,
Now, what
too.
do you say to people that say, "Well, COVID's gone"? Like, what? It's
Yeah, it's not gone.
bye-bye.
Yeah, it's going down some. We don't have as many deaths from it, and Ohio is really doing pretty good. I did have the information on Ohio, and I think in Ohio right now, I don't think we've had any deaths here, like this last November to December.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's really
So,
good.
and then in Jackson, I'm not sure. I want to say there's only been maybe 11 cases that they have actually, turned in. But the thing with that is too, is a lot of people can go, get tested and not, it doesn't go into the health department or the state,
I
so
say
they
there's
don't
a lot
know.
more out there than what because
Yeah.
people home test and then they just stay
Right.
home.
Right.
Like,
And then if you don't have a really bad case of it, which is, if you've had your shots, then, you're not going to worry about it as much
Yeah.
and, whatever. So, yeah.
okay. So cases, in at least our county, and I know you're just speaking for Jackson County at this point,
Yeah.
Seem to be pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, flu on the other
That's another story. That's
side
another
of the
story.
coin, and the RSV thing. I mean, I know that there are hospitals here in Ohio that are sending babies to other states now. Pennsylvania.
Yes.
I mean, they're running. They have no. They have no
Don't
room.
have the beds. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yes. Yes.
And these little babies, you see them on the news and they can't breathe, and
Oh, I know.
it's
I
the
hate
worst.
that.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, it just gives me chills. To
I'm
think
a
about it.
retired teacher as well, and I always told parents I'd rather them be ornery than sick.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So, yeah.
You want to see them be sassy. You'd rather them be
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
I
So.
feel ya. I feel ya. All right. Well, I think that, I appreciate you taking time, spending your morning with us, or at least a half hour of it, to kind of, I think, answer those questions that I think people still have out there. And the long and short of it is that there is a new booster out there,
Mm-hmm.
and you should get it.
Yep. Exactly.
Because it covers things that your first initial doses of
Did not.
COVID booster or shot didn't cover.
Right. Exactly.
And that's why.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So.
Do you think, now this is, I guess, maybe your opinion, I'm kind of setting you up for this,
Okay.
but is this something that we'll have to continue to get boosters for this COVID thing for a long time, or kind of
Yeah.
like the flu? Is this because it's going to ever change?
Right. Yeah. For me personally, I think it will be. I think it'll just be a normal, like a flu shot.
Okay.
That's what I think will end up happening.
And maybe
And
it
then-
will be that they combine them all into one at some point.
Yeah.
like the
You
flu
never
sh-
know. Yeah. Right.
We'll
right.
see.
Yeah.
It'll just
So-
be another annoying sickness
Right.
that we all get. So
Yes.
here's what I can tell you for a fact. COVID is not going away. Like, it is a
Right.
new thing that,
Yeah.
well, COVID is not a new thing. The strains of COVID
Yeah.
that we all got
Right.
is new, relatively speaking. So it's not
Yeah.
going away. So we're going to have to deal with it for the rest of our lives.
Right. Yeah.
And,
And the
years
best
and
thing
years
is
to
to stay up on all of your shots, all of your boosters,
and
and,
And it's very depressing this time of the year. My husband and I were driving yesterday. We were having that discussion. I'm like, God, you just feel bad. And it's like, I don't really feel sick per se. You just kind
Yeah.
of feel, ugh.
yeah.
And
well,
it's because there's no sunshine out. And,
Yeah.
and there's no, it gets dark at 4:45. And, you're just like, oh, and
Yeah.
it's cold. And so
Yes.
here's the thing, like, take care of yourself and drink
Right.
lots of fluids and take your vitamins and
right.
do anything that you can to, like,
right.
make yourself better.
Right. Wash your hands for 20 seconds.
Wash your hands. Wear a mask if you're feeling icky.
Yeah.
Eat good food.
Right. Right. Drink a
Oh.
lot of liquids.
Yes, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Just help your body help itself,
Right.
especially this time of the year.
Yeah. And if you suspect that you do have flu, make sure you don't get around other people because
Sure.
heaven forbid you give it to someone else. So,
And
know.
this time of the year, it's so hard.
I know.
Because everybody's doing so much stuff. But
Yeah.
be careful.
I've been going to all the festivals and
Right.
Oak Hill, we have our little tree and
Yeah. I mean, it's
yeah.
you want to get out and about and do
Yeah.
things. And, when you've been cooped up this long,
Right.
everybody wants to really especially get out there. But
Yeah.
just be careful.
Yep.
Yeah. Use your noggin.
Yeah, there you
For
go.
something besides a Santa hat.
That's right. And Merry Christmas to
Yes,
everybody.
and Merry Christmas. Well, Shirley, thank you so much for coming in
Well,
and
thank you
spending
for
your morning
having
with
us.
us. And
Thank
if
you.
you guys have anything new, would you come back and
Sure.
let our
Yeah.
viewers know about that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a wonderful day, everyone. We thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be right back here tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, TheTelegramNews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Subscribe today at TheTelegramNews.com.
Check it out.